Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new segment, a bit long overdue, called the Highway Code News, the reasons for which will become clear in a second. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've all had, I should say, a good week hitherto. I want to start off by making just a couple of announcements, a couple of shout outs really. This is to do with the Where It's At channel, which is a channel that looks at hidden history, old world things, exposing the lie, the lie itself, as it were. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Eric Douillon for joining us a couple of weeks ago on the Where It's At podcast, and sharing his information on Fort Pickens, which is in Pensacola, Florida. If anybody hasn't seen that, take a look. It's a construction made out of 21.5 million bricks, yet allegedly done well before the mass production of bricks ever happened anywhere in the world, because it's supposed to have started during the Industrial Revolution in the UK. And that's another story. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but it's worth checking out. And I'd also like to thank Dave Mannell, who goes by the name of Trinity 4, for coming on the podcast Where It's At last week. This Sunday just gone. Very kind of him to join us and share his experiences around that topic, and also looking forward to working with him and others to continue collating lots of information, comparing notes, and highlighting the discrepancies and all that. And it's a lot of fun as well to actually imagine that these buildings are there for everybody to see. Our hidden history is very, very tangible, more tangible than what people give it credit for. So thank you very much to those two gentlemen. Much, much appreciated. And that is, a channel Where It's At, it's called, that has recently started and gaining a bit of traction there. But it's might be worth looking at. Okay, so got the thanks out the way on that one, because I meant to really express myself on that more thoroughly a few days ago, but I didn't really, or I didn't feel I did. A couple of things I wanted to really just talk about that kind of caught my attention recently, and that is that the driverless cars situation has been raising its head on official media outlets now. So when that happens, of course, it's already too late. And quite interesting, I decided to take a little look, because I came across a bit of a headline talking about highway code and how they were going to incorporate rules for people driving in driverless cars. So, for example, allowed to watch the TV while your car is driving and all that sort of stuff. Of course, that's only possible if you're not driving it yourself. But the funny thing about all of this is that it's suddenly arrived. A few years ago, people were talking about this as if it was something dystopian, but also something far out in the future. Of course, it's not. Anyway, I looked on the government website just to kind of cross-reference the information that they were feeding us with, and it is quite interesting. So there was an update. Anybody can take a look at this, but there was an update on the gov.uk website, and if you look at the transport part of it, you can come across this, and I'll just read to you what it says here. It says Britain moves closer to a self-driving revolution. This was updated on the 20th of April of this year. So changes to the highway code will help ensure the first wave of self-driving vehicles are used safely on UK roads. Now, I'll spare you all the jibber jabber, but it is well worth a read, because maybe that will start hitting home more as to where everything's going. I spoke about digital motorways being open in 2023 here on the south coast where I am, and this just further compounds where everything's going. I was going to mention a different topic, and then I remembered this one. I was going to talk about more the difficulties that we face now to pay cash, for example. But this topic here and the rollout thereof is something that kind of makes it very clear where things are going. And, anyway, it's there for everybody to read. So it's quite interesting. I'll read a couple of little bits just to give you an idea. The government expects to have a full regulatory framework in place to support the widespread deployment of the technology called ALKS, which is required to support driverless networks of cars by 2025. It's in 3 years. I mean, it's amazing how 2 years can fly by, especially with what's happened. Before you know it, you got this knocking on your doorstep. I mean, we knew this sort of thing was going to happen eventually anyway, but it just shows you that it then becomes reality very quickly. The technology could improve road safety across Britain by reducing human error, again, for our benefit, which is a contributory factor in 88% of all recorded road collisions. Well, yeah, I would have thought so, as humans are the main ones partaking in road traffic. What a silly stat. But anyway, I just thought I would take that, bring that to you. I think that's quite important because, yeah, it points very, very clearly as to where everything is going. I know I just repeat myself there. I couldn't think of the right words. But I thought that was rather befitting of the situation we're in right now. You know, we talk about everything gone a bit quiet and all that. We've had a lot of conversations about what happens now. Well, what happens now is what happened anyway, which is we all crack on with our lives and do the best we can and try and keep the good people around us and make sure that we're all at one with ourselves and all the rest of it, all that good stuff, making sure your spiritual fabric is in place and all that, regardless of what anything else that's going on. But it's good to be aware of any developments, and in my opinion, this is a huge one. Anyway, I thought I would just bring that to you. Like I said earlier, the original topic I was going to talk about was something that I noticed when I went out shopping a couple of days ago. I went to about 3 different stores and it became very difficult to pay with cash. You know, they've been using the checkout tills, for example, in a lot of supermarkets for ages now, right? But normally you can use kind of both methods. Now it's getting less and less and less. Now you're having of 6 checkout tills, for example, self-checkout tills, 4 that only take card and 2 that take cash. And then of course of the 2, one of them is broken. That all seems to be the way. So they're definitely on all fronts getting it all lined up. While all that is happening, we have all our branches of banks that have closed down in the last year or 2 here, certainly in the area that I live. I'll give you an example. I'm with Lloyds Bank, not that it matters, but I am, and they're a big bank, but you can't even find them in Bournemouth now. So again, it's that shove towards keeping everybody automated, connected up with the system, dependent on the system, because there will come a time when you can no longer then do anything person to person. You have to then go via the system. Or, I mean, even now when you phone authorities or want to get something sorted, one of the first things they say to you is you can check us out online. I mean, the encouragement is always there to keep you online, keep you online. Another nice side effect of introducing lockdowns, having people glued to their gadgets. Much easier to control, much easier to monitor exactly what the powers that shouldn't be want. Because don't forget, it's all about data collection, data harvesting, and ultimately total and unequivocal control. So on that note, I just wanted to throw one out there and basically show my face, because I've been kind of away last week or so, but busy, but you know, you can't be everywhere at once, and I thought I'd take the time to quickly throw out a video, a quick 10-minute one. So there you go. Thank you for all those who are going to be looking in and supporting the channel, and those at a later date as well. And I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Some of you sooner. He's happy as Larry. He's been chilling all day. Yeah, I should follow suit. Okay, so on that note, thanks very much, and ta-ta for now. Bye-bye.